I've wasted more money on online courses than a lot of people have spent on their weddings. And you know what I have to show for it? A Google Drive full of PDFs that I've never opened and log-on credentials that I can't remember. Here's the thing that nobody tells you. Most people have no idea how to actually learn. We think we're learning when we're binge watching tutorials. We think we're making progress when we're highlighting books. But when it's time to actually do something, absolute crickets. Recently, I came across a brilliant video by Dan Koe about learning anything faster. It's completely changed how I approach learning skills. So in this video, I'm breaking down strategies that help you learn 10 times faster. Whether you're building a business, learning a language, creating content, or honestly, just trying to figure out how to edit videos without wanting to throw your laptop out the window, we're going to be talking about why projects beat tutorials every single time, how to avoid the trap of endless learning, and how to actually build skills without burning out. Let's get into it. So Dan Koe drops this line that honestly stopped me in my tracks. Most people don't know how to learn. If you can learn 10 times faster, you can achieve success that much faster. Now, that might sound obvious, but think about it. How many of us have spent months, actual months, stuck in what I call tutorial nightmare? You're watching how to edit videos part 1 while your beard grows longer than your Premiere Pro render times. You're taking notes like you're in first year university all over again. You feel productive, you feel like you're doing something. But here's the actual brutal truth. You're not learning. You're consuming content about learning, which is completely different. I've been there. I've bought so many online courses that I could start a library with just the login emails alone. Udemy sales got me every time. Master video editing in 30 days, sold. Complete guide to business growth, added to cart. Advanced camera masterclass, why not? I would just go ahead and just buy these courses. And then what happens? I watch maybe 3 videos, feel overwhelmed, and move on to the next shiny course. It's like watching cooking shows every single night, but you actually never cook any of the stuff that you see. You're not becoming a chef. You're really just informed about what chefs actually do. The reality is we confuse consumption with creation. We think that by absorbing information, we're somehow absorbing the skill itself, but that's not how the brain works. Your brain doesn't care about theoretical knowledge until you actually need to use it. Alright, so if endless tutorials don't work, what does? This is Dan Koe's strongest point, and honestly, it's the one that changed everything for me. The best way to learn is to build a real project and only search for information when you need it. Don't wait for the perfect plan. Don't wait until you've watched all 47 videos in the course. Launch the project, make the video, start the business, build the thing. Think of it like learning wudu, which is where you wash yourself before you do the Islamic prayer. You don't learn wudu from diagrams and detailed breakdowns, right? You learned it by splashing the whole bathroom first, which I actually sometimes do still, and just getting water everywhere, and your mum or dad showing you, no, like this better. You learn by doing, by making mistakes, by adjusting. That's exactly how you need to approach any skill. Start with a real project that matters to you, not a practice project, not a I'll do the real thing later, a real one. When I started making videos, I didn't wait until I understood every feature in my editing software. I mean, there were just loads and loads of features. I had an idea for a video, I recorded it on my phone, and then, and this is key, I only looked up what I needed when I got stuck. How do I trim this clip? Search, learn, move on. How do I add text? Search, learn, keep moving. This approach does something powerful. First, it keeps you motivated because you're working towards something that actually matters to you. Second, the information sticks because your brain has context for it. You're not learning how to add transitions in theory. You're learning it because the current video needs a transition right now, and you're actually doing it right now. And here's the thing, you will feel resistance. You'll feel like you're not ready. You will want to watch just one more tutorial first. That's normal, but that feeling never actually goes away. So you might as well just start now. Now here's where it gets interesting. There's this concept from flow theory that Dan Koe references, and it's called the Goldilocks zone. Too easy equals boredom, too hard equals anxiety. The sweet spot, right in the middle, that's where growth lies. I learned this the hard way. When I first started getting serious about content creation, I went all in. I bought a fancy camera, I got lighting equipment, I started learning about color grading, film theory, advanced editing technique, the whole package. And you know what happened? I stopped creating. It was too much. The gap between where I was and where I was trying to get to was so massive that I just froze. I'd sit down with a video and think, well, I should really nail the lighting first. Oh, but my color grading isn't professional yet. Maybe I should just watch a few more tutorials. And then weeks would go by without making anything. So I did something that felt like giving up at the time, but was actually my smartest move. I switched back to just using my phone. Suddenly progress started flowing again. I was in the Goldilocks zone. It was challenging enough to keep me engaged, but not so overwhelming that I couldn't start. Same thing with learning languages. When I decided to improve my Arabic, I didn't start by trying to master irregular verbs from one day and conjugation and all of that sort of stuff. I started with just some basic words, greetings, simple questions, small, achievable, and they just kind of really built my knowledge. And Duolingo is great for that. You start with little sort of phrases and you kind of build it up over time. The lesson here is simple. Start where you are, not where you think you should be, not where everyone else is, where you actually are right now. Then stretch just a little bit beyond your comfort zone. Not a lot, just enough to keep things interesting. The best way to apply this, the Kaizen method, which is from Japan, and I absolutely love it, which is just about getting 1% better. It keeps things manageable, not overwhelming, because big changes come from stacking lots of little changes. Alright, so you've started your project, you're in the right difficulty zone. Now what? This is where most people lose steam. Because here's the thing, you're really going to feel like doing the work. I mean, let's be real. How many times have you woken up excited to edit a video, or pumped to write that article, or generally enthusiastic about learning a new skill? If you're like me, maybe, sometimes, maybe once in a while. But Dan Koe reminds us this is completely normal. You really feel like doing the work. So what do? You need a system that removes the negotiation. This is why I use the Pomodoro technique now. I pretty much use it all the time. Just set a 25-minute timer and commit to just one focus session. That's it. Just work on one thing. No endless planning, no I'll do it later, no bargaining with yourself. The timer starts, the brain has no choice but to engage. It's actually very similar to Salah. When the azan goes off and it's prayer time, you don't sit there negotiating with yourself. You don't think, maybe I'll pray 20 minutes when I feel more spiritually ready. You just get up and pray. You have to pray within the time. There's no overthinking, no delay. You just have to pray. Just start. Apply that same principle to your learning. One task, one focus, one attention. Press start, let the timer go, and let the momentum carry you. Now here's another gem from Dan Koe that's changed my approach. Start with what you know. Let it expose gaps. Try, fail, search, implement, repeat. This is the cycle of mastery. It's about stacking small wins. Let's say you're learning video editing. You don't try and become some Premiere Pro, Final Cut Pro, or CapCut expert all in week one. You start with just basic cuts and you kind of get a nice video together, and then when you're ready you could then add in like transitions, and then when you're comfortable with that you could then add like text overlays. It's all about just stacking it. It's the same thing with business. You don't launch with a fully automated funnel and 7-figure strategy. You start with an email, you get comfortable with that, then you add automation, then you improve your sales process layer by layer by layer. Even fitness, you can't go from the couch to the marathon. You walk, then you jog, then you run, and these small wins compound. Now here's a secret that nobody tells you. The small wins also build your confidence. Every time you complete something, even something small, your brain registers it as success, and success breeds motivation. Motivation drives action. Action creates more success, and it's a beautiful cycle. You start feeling great, not because you've achieved this massive goal, but because you're making consistent progress. And that feeling, that's the fuel that keeps you going. Now let's talk about something that Dan Koe emphasizes heavily, the power of deep focus. No distractions, one intention, one action. This is why those post-Fajr hours, which is the first prayer of the day for Muslims, are absolutely golden. If you can, wake up for Fajr, pray, then immediately dive into deep work. It's quiet, the world isn't awake yet, there are no notifications buzzing, no meetings scheduled, and most importantly, your cousin isn't spamming you because your football team lost over the weekend. That focus time is where real learning happens, not the scattered, distracted, checking your phone every 5 minutes kind of work. Deep, concentrated focus. But here's something else Dan talks about, equally important, realistic timelines. He argues that you can learn in 2 weeks what takes other people take 6 months if you set proper deadlines. And honestly, I've seen this in my own life. When I've committed to a weekly newsletter, I got better at writing faster than when I was working on writing skills with no deadline at all. When I set a goal to publish a video every week, my editing improved rapidly. That consistency and time pressure forces growth. It's like Eid prep, right? Somehow the ironing gets done, the samosas get stuffed, the biryani gets cooked, all in one night before Eid. How? Because there's a deadline. Eid is coming whether you're ready or not, so you just somehow figure it out. Now I need to add something important here. Progress beats perfection. You will mess up, you miss deadlines, you'll have off days. The key is being able to restart. start. Perfection is actually the enemy of learning, because perfection stops you from starting, stops you from publishing, stops you from getting feedback, and feedback is how you improve. Miss the day, reset, start again. That's it. Consistency beats perfection every single time. Another point from Dan Koe that's really powerful is teach to learn. There's this concept called the protege effect. Basically, when you teach something, it locks in the learning way better than just consuming that information. So start teaching, write newsletters, make posts, have conversations where you explain what you've learned. Even if nobody reads your newsletter, even if your posts get 0 likes, you remember it because you had to organize your thoughts, articulate them clearer in that social media post or video or however you decided to do it. And here's something that must surprise you. Work solo first. I know collaboration sounds great in theory, but groups can actually be a distraction, especially in the learning phase. Cal Newport, who wrote the book Deep Work, calls this the overhead tax. All the organizing, the scheduling, the waiting for others, coordinating, it slows you down. Learn solo, master the basics on your own. Don't be dependent on anyone else for your learning. Once you've got solid skills, then collaborate. But in the beginning, definitely recommend working alone. And finally, this is non-negotiable. Fuel your learning with energy, healthy habits. With good energy and health, you simply cannot learn quickly. It's impossible. Sleep well, eat well, move daily, stay hydrated. I know this sounds basic, but it's foundational. Coffee is fine, but 6 cups before lunch, come on, that's just going to give you the jitters. You're not going to get any good productivity. That's just going to cause you anxiety and not focus. Your brain is an organ. It needs fuel, it needs rest. Treat it right and it will serve you right. Neglect it and everything becomes harder. I want to add something that wasn't in Dan Koe's original video, but is absolutely essential for us as Muslims, which is balance skills with purpose. Look, we can all use these strategies to learn business skills, content creation, languages, whatever, but that's great. But we also need to apply the same learning principles to our faith. We can't just be people who know how to grow an Instagram following, but don't know the basics of our deen. We can't be experts in productivity, but neglect our relationship with Allah. So use these strategies for your faith too. Want to learn Quran? Start a project. Maybe memorize 1 page and teach it to someone. Want to understand hadith better? Pick 1 collection and work through it systematically. Want to improve your prayer? Focus deeply on 1 aspect at a time. Work on your recitation or understand the meaning of the passage of the Quran that you're reading and learning about. Stack wins in your spiritual life the same way you stack wins in your professional life. This is the balance we need. Skills with purpose, growth with meaning, success that matters, not just in the dunya, but in the akhirah, the afterlife. Dan Koe's video made me realize something fundamental. Most people genuinely don't know how to learn. And if you don't know how to learn, you're going to spend years going in circles, consuming content, but never actually building everything. So here's my question to you. What's the first skill you're starting today? Not tomorrow, not after you watch a few more videos, today. Drop it in the comments and let's build some accountability here. And if you found this video useful, then please sign up for my newsletter, which is the Muslim Solopreneur, and the link will be in the description below. Until next time, Assalamu alaikum.